Hey friends, this week I am covering myths about sugar and kids in hopes that this might just help clear out some of the confusion and clutter that there is about feeding kids and allowing them to have sweets and desserts and to learn how to have a good relationship with all foods. And so I earlier this week talked about sugar addiction. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that video, make sure you go back and check it out. And today I'm covering something that I hear a lot that I think there's a lot of misconception around, and that is allowing kids to have sweets and what it means, okay? And so what I often hear, because I'm a big proponent of giving kids unconditional permission to eat sweets and giving them a lot of opportunities, making sweets a regular part of their meal and snack routine, all those things. And one thing that I hear a lot is, if you're letting your kids have sweets, it just means that you don't care, that you're just going to let them eat whatever they want, whenever they want. Or it kind of gets misconstrued that way, that normalizing sugar for our kids means that you're just letting them have whatever. You don't care, you just put it all out there and give them kind of free reign of the pantry and all the things. And that can be really scary for a lot of parents. And I want to help clear up some of the confusion around that, okay? Because to me, I truly believe that kids do best with food when they have a supportive environment, and that includes some structure and routine around food and eating. And that includes desserts too. So when I'm talking about legalizing sugar and giving your child unconditional permission to eat sweets and normalizing it for them by giving them plenty of opportunities to enjoy it and have it and learn how to eat it and self-regulate it, I don't mean just putting it all out there and not really caring, okay? I think, again, that can be misconstrued and kind of takes things to the other extreme of things. And really what it means is, number one, giving your child permission, and not having any negative or toxic language around it. Cause I think that's something that we do often as caregivers. I mean, we hear it all the time, and it's easy to recycle those things to our own kids, saying things like, oh, too much of that is going to hurt your stomach, you're going to get sick. It's well intended, but it's the way it comes across and how our kids interpret those types of messages. So what do I mean by structure and support? Well, again, kids do better with structure in all aspects of their life. And by structure, I don't mean being super rigid and being okay, we're doing this at this time. I mean, some kids do well with that, but what I mean is just more having a flexible routine, okay? Like a rhythm. And the same is true with food. When we have a rhythm with food with our kids, they can understand that food is reliable and that it's coming, and they don't have to, question or guess when their next meal or snack is happening. And all those things are really important for them to build trust with their caregivers, but also to develop a positive relationship with food and to have opportunities to learn how to eat. And I'm a firm believer that within that kind of meal routine, that we as parents get to plug in and create opportunities for our kids to have exposure to sweets. So as a parent, you are still in charge of the menu for your family. And that doesn't mean you can't take your family's preferences and likes into consideration. It just means you're responsible for deciding what you're offering to your family and when you're offering it. Now, here's where this, second part comes into play, and that is trusting our kids to eat. So as a parent, you can decide, okay, I'm going to offer dessert with this meal or not. It's up to you. And I am going to talk more about how to understand or how to know how frequently to offer, sweets and desserts to your kids. That's a big question that I get, and I am going to be covering that. But it is your decision as a parent, okay? And once you do offer it, the ball is now in your child's court. So if you're offering, let's say, cookies alongside your child's lunch, okay, you've done your job by deciding what you were offering. You decided, I'm going to offer cookies, I'm going to put it on the plate, I'm going to offer it with the lunch, okay? Now it is your child's job to decide what they want to eat from the food that you've offered, how much they want to eat, okay? And even whether or not they want to eat at that given meal or snack time. And this is really important to understand because, again, as parents, it is our responsibility to offer that structure for our children. And within the context of our rhythm or structure, or however you want to call it, our kids are able to decide and learn how to self-regulate what they need from what we've offered them. Okay. So you can see that this is still offering them a supportive approach to sweets. And it's helping them learn and giving them opportunities to learn how to self-regulate, but we're not micromanaging them. Okay. This is part of giving unconditional permission, is where we're saying, okay, here, I'm offering it to you, but you get to decide what and how much you want to eat from the food that we've made available to you. Now, that's a lot different than saying, okay, the pantry is yours, the fridge is yours, like go get whatever you want and you can just eat it whenever, all day long. That's not really a supportive approach to sweets either. And that's definitely not what I'm saying when I'm saying let's legalize sweets and sugar for kids. The other part of giving unconditional permission and trust is, being aware of our own language and how we talk about sweets around our kids. And are we creating a supportive environment for them to learn how to, eat sweets and learn how to self-regulate them and build a positive relationship with all foods? If our home is demonizing certain foods, or if certain things are off limits, or there's a lot of rigid rules around food and eating, that's going to make it harder for your child to learn how to trust themselves when it comes to food, especially sweets and desserts. Okay. So I just wanted to clear that up, because I think when people hear, this concept of, let your child eat dessert, give them dessert, let them have sugar, let them have sweets. That's like, wow, like, what does that mean? Should I just not care and let them eat like however, the whole cookie jar, the whole candy jar? Now, again, this is an area where there are some nuances. And I do think as parents, we need to be aware of our children and what they're showing interest in. And if your child is showing a lot of interest in a particular food or particular sweet, we do want to be more intentional about incorporating it more frequently for them, so that it loses its luster, so to say. It kind of loses the power that it has over them. And, there is a difference too between excitement around desserts and obsession around sweets. Our kids are going to get excited about certain foods, and that's okay. That's normal. Like, food is supposed to be a pleasurable thing that we enjoy, and our kids too. But where we kind of see red flags is when our kids are showing signs of obsession around sweets, or they're so preoccupied with eating sweets that it's literally preventing them from enjoying or eating other foods. Okay, that is different. So I hope this helps a little bit. I realize I kind of covered a few different things, but I just wanted to clear up that point that, we still want to take a supportive approach to feeding our children. And that definitely is different than this idea of, not caring. Like, of course we care. And of course, as a parent, you care. And you're learning about this because you want your child to have a positive relationship with all foods. So I hope this helps. I'm going to include a blog post below that kind of talks about this a little bit in more detail. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. And feel free to leave any questions in the comments below. Okay. Thanks for watching.